Josh, how did you find the step up as a youngster from Cambridge City to Cambridge United?
How did I find it?
Wait, let's start again actually.
I think maybe, I don't know, maybe an update on this season. I think how it's been going with Leyton Orient.
Yeah, okay.
Well, now.
Okay, I've got an idea. Right.
Go on, yeah?
Ready?
Yeah.
So, Josh, we're catching up with you ahead of the Cambridge United v Leyton Orient game and your return to the Abbey for the first time.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your time here over a 10-year period of playing for Cambridge United at the club. Firstly, how's it going at Leyton Orient?
Good. Up and down. Obviously, I'm sure you all know about the manager's situation.
Yeah.
We had a good start to the season, dipped off, got a new manager in. He didn't last too long. And now, obviously, we're back to where we were at the start. But we would like more points on the board, as everyone would. But I think after what happened to us in the summer, I think stabilising and
Stabilisation is key.
stabilisation is massive for us, yeah.
And how are you enjoying your football? Obviously, we've seen, keep an eye on the Orient scores, obviously with you playing.
Yeah.
You scored a few goals.
I did last year,
That big
yeah.
head.
I did last year, got one this year. No, look, I'm really enjoying it. Last year was a very good year. Obviously winning the league was, when you win it's more enjoyable obviously, but I think there's a lot more to it. I think I went the year before, had a couple injuries. Last year played a lot, won a lot, enjoyed my time with the gaffer, Justin Edinburgh. To win the league was an amazing achievement. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. This year's been a lot harder, obviously with what happened, Justin passing away. So yeah, this year's been tough, but still enjoying it, and it's a great football club to be at.
Brilliant. Obviously, as a local lad, you started by playing for Cherry Lions here.
Yes.
You've lived kind of, a lot of us as fans dream, I suppose. You've come from playing local football, to playing for the club you supported as a child, to now still having a good career within professional football.
Yep.
Obviously, you went on from Cherry Lions to Cambridge City Youth Development. You then obviously joined Jez at Cambridge City and then made the step over to Cambridge United, probably the best club in Cambridge. But anyway, how did you find that as a youngster, as a scholar, going through that and kind of progressing your career?
Like you mentioned there, a dream come true.
Yep.
Might sound really cheesy, but I used to come watch Cambridge United, come
I remember
many games standing with you, Ben. So obviously then I remember joining from Cambridge City, done my first year scholar there, and Jez rang me, or did he ring me? We had a meeting saying, right, we're going over to Cambridge United. Bearing in mind, I think 2 or 3 years before that I had a trial at Cambridge United, didn't get in. So then to be coming over, even if it was by default, I didn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I was playing for Cambridge United, and then obviously got my first professional contract, which was a dream come true, Jimmy Quinn. So yeah, like you said, a bit of a dream come true, because I was playing for my local club that I used to go and watch as a fan. So yeah, it was really exciting.
Who would you say was your inspirations then growing up in football? Obviously your dad was a big influence as a youth fan.
Yeah.
Obviously I guess Jez to a degree, giving you your chance at Cambridge City.
Yeah, Dad, obviously, I'd watched Dad, come to football with Dad. Everything football-wise was through my dad. Come to watch Cambridge, I'm trying to think of some real good old centre-halves, but let's be honest, I didn't want to be a centre-half, but I was tall enough. But when Omar Ritza and Dave Kitson played, and all them, Trevor Benjamin, all them players there, used to love going to watch them, and just wanted to play at the Abbey, really, mate.
I remember going back to the Cherry Lions days, playing against you as a kid, as you said before. And you never used to play in defence, did you? You always used to be further up the park and still be a handful.
Yeah, I used to be a centre midfielder.
Exactly. What made you go into be a centre-half?
I think Jez just put me there because I was tall and could head it.
Yeah, you was a bit of a beanpole as a kid.
I was tall as a kid, so I think you'd naturally go further back, and maybe I wasn't as quick as everyone else. So just
maybe that's where I went wrong.
Yeah, exactly, mate. But yeah, then ended up as a centre-half. So.
Obviously, you made your debut for the club in 2007 against Halifax in a 2-2 draw. So, touching back on being a Cambridge United fan, how did it feel walking out to the Abbey, making that debut? Talk me through that.
It's incredible. I think, obviously, still quite young. I remember being on the bench, thinking probably won't get on. And defenders never really get on unless an injury happens. And I think it was Gavin Hoyt, big Gav Hoyt, picked up a knock. Jimmy Quinn's turned around and said, "Get ready." Didn't really know what I was doing, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to have to go on." Remember running on, hoping the ball didn't really come near me, but yeah, I don't think we won that game.
No, it was a tool draw.
Tool draw, yeah. Take that on my debut.
Take that on your debut.
Yeah, but I remember my full debut probably more Kidderminster away. We lost 1-0. I don't think we ever win there.
No.
I remember the goal as well. We'd done a thing where their free kick, we'd all run up together to catch them offside. The big legend Leo Fortune West decided he wanted to stay there and play them all onside, and they scored. Lost 1-0, but I remember I thought I played really well, and then never looked back.
You became a fan favourite as a regular in the side throughout that period. You managed to notch up your first senior goal on the 16th of March 2010. Obviously, it took a while.
It took a while, yeah.
That was against Salisbury, believe it or not, if you can remember. How did you feel when you scored that goal for the club? Obviously, again, as a kid, supporting the team, then scoring for the team you support.
Yeah, I don't really remember it, I must admit. But look, I was a defender, so clean sheets and defending was my main job. Obviously, to pop in with a few goals would be nice, so I'm sure I was excited and buzzing.
So obviously you was here for 10 years, you managed to get a testimonial, which was a really good achievement these days. There's not much loyalty in football anymore, is there?
There's not.
How did you feel getting a testimonial and what did that mean to you?
Really proud. I think the biggest thing was I'd just started a young family as well. So my little boy walked out with me at the game. Tottenham didn't really enjoy the game, I must admit, because they were quite good. But to do 10 years at the club, like we've said, I supported, was something I never thought I'd do. 10 years.
You did obviously have the nickname Mr. Cambridge United, didn't you? To be honest.
Yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it? From Cambridge, supported it, but yeah, 10 years. Really proud of that 10 years. And look, I think a lot of it was in the conference, and I know how long this club was in the conference for. So to be part of the team that got this club back into the Football League where it should be was something I'll never forget.
And talking of that, obviously we're going to touch on that subject. That's probably 2013-14 season.
Yeah.
Your most successful time as a player so far.
Yeah.
Obviously FA Trophy final winners,
Yeah.
playoff final winners. And then to top it all off, the next season, back in the Football League, who pops up and scores the first goal back in the Football League? Mr. Coulson.
Yes, not bad.
Not bad going, is it? Kind of summarise that for me, that season.
That season was interesting, it was exciting. The group of players we had were really good, strong, together. Friends, still speak to most of them now.
Everybody had that mentality of playing for each other, didn't
Yeah, I think the recruitment that year was really good. I think we recruited players that were hungry, weren't here for money or anything like that. Everyone wanted the same thing, and I think that really shone through in our performances and how we ground out some results, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, we was not in form going into the playoffs, but I think that team spirit and that togetherness that we had got us through that and ultimately got us promoted. Yeah.
And what was it like stepping out at Wembley as a player?
Incredible. I think we'd been there twice before I had with the club. Didn't make the squad, lost both playoff finals. So I felt a bit of more pressure, I think, from myself, knowing that, right, I'm playing this time.
Yeah.
And wanting to win a bit more. And then obviously what happened at Wembley in the playoff final was just incredible. As a kid, you always want to play at Wembley, so to play...
Another dream come true, another dream...
Yeah, a lot of dreams coming true. To win at Wembley with my club was incredible, yeah, I'll never forget that day. Do you want me to elaborate? It was a horrible game, wasn't it?
It was a horrible game, it was very nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
It was nerve-wracking. Try being on there when Dusty goes off with a ruptured Achilles and big Liam Hughes has to come play centre-half next to me. I think when Dusty went off and they had 3 or 4 good chances to score, when Big Curtis missed a header at the back post, I thought, look, they ain't scoring, this is our day. Yeah. A lot of injury time, but the relief when that whistle went and Cambridge fans at the other end, and I tried to run over there, but I just couldn't run, just gave way, and jelly legs and the emotion took over. And then after that game, the partying, shall we say, was...
It was full on, wasn't it? It was good.
It was good. It was very good, enjoyable.
I recall Mr. Money standing on the tables here.
Richard Money, yeah, singing his songs. No, it was good. I remember having a banging headache.
Was that all the alcohol you drank?
Maybe, it might have been dehydrated plus alcohol. Wasn't a good mixture, and excitement and emotion. But I remember Dusty doesn't drink, so he drove my car because it was automatic, and his right foot was all right. He drove us home that night. I remember him at, God knows what time it was, beeping the horn outside my house, waking all my neighbours up, singing Cambridge United songs. More stories about that night? Or
Have you got any more stories? Because for fans to hear it.
Big Adam Cunnington, outside. It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was he? Was he laying on people's cars? Was he laying on your car?
I don't want to embarrass him too much.
No, let's embarrass him. He's fine. He was laying on cars outside Revs, getting you to take him to Stansted.
Yeah, me and my friend that was driving ended up convincing me that it was a good idea to take him to the airport.
Because he had to go to Marbella on his family holiday the day after.
Steaming into an airport, trying to Cambridge United.
In his Cambridge United tracksuit with his medal on.
With his medal around his neck.
Brilliant effort. Well
Good
played.
effort, that's probably
Well
the best
played.
story, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed
That's
that when I heard
up
about
there.
that. That was good.
He was pretty paranoid, bless him.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, bless him. No, just very good celebrations, mate. Yeah, really.
Okay, so going back to the current day, obviously you'll be coming here later this month with Leyton Orient. How are you feeling in returns to coming back to the Abbey? Obviously you're going to get a really good reception from our fans.
I hope so.
I'm sure you will. But how does it feel coming back now as an opponent, playing here at the Abbey, playing against Cambridge,
Yeah.
playing against a team you support?
Weird?
Going to put the ball in your own net?
Definitely not. No. Weird. You know what? I've thought about it a lot over the years, to be fair, thinking, imagine if I actually had to play against, how would I feel? Now I'm here. Look, I'm excited to come back and play here, where I've played I played 10 years professionally here. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be obviously good for the family, who are not far. It's Christmas time, so I don't have to travel too much.
It's
Excited.
not a dream though, is it? Because I remember when we were growing up, you telling me you'd only ever leave Cambridge United for Tottenham. That was the team you supported.
Yeah, but then when it became my job and I had to pay a mortgage and look after kids, that changed. But no, I'm excited.
It'd be good to see you back. I think the fans are looking forward to seeing you.
It'll be nice. I think once I step over the white line, it'll be professional head on, game face on, and look, I want to win. I don't like losing, so I will want to win.
As we know.
If I score, I'll hold back if I can. But no, looking forward to it, mate. Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got to ask? So, talking over your 10-year period of playing here at the club, obviously you played under a number of different managers.
Yeah.
Firstly, who would you say was the best manager you worked with? Somebody's asked me to ask you,
Right.
Richard Money or Sean Derry, who would you prefer, for instance? But who would you say was the best manager you worked under and why?
Obvious reasons, you'd say Richard Money because we got promoted and won the FA Trophy. But for me, looking back, I think Jimmy Quinn was massive for me. I think he had a lot of trust. Yeah, he gave me. Yeah, he gave me that break, and I think he managed me really well. I think these days, if you stick a youngster in and he does well, you constantly play him. I don't think that's right. I think you need to manage him, and I think Jimmy Quinn done that really well. I'd play 2 or 3 games, sit out 2 or 3 games, and he wasn't afraid to just put me in. I remember Wolves away in the FA Cup, didn't play for 2-3 weeks before that.
But pops you in.
We trained at West Brom the day before, pulled me aside, said, Coulson, you're playing tomorrow. Playing a back 3. I think it was all Brighton and Michael Morrison. Yeah. And I was like, right, okay, brilliant. Biggest game for a long time. So I'd say, for me, Jimmy Quinn done a lot for me in the short space of time that I worked with him. I think obviously gave me that break, so that was massive for me. But like I said, the success was under Richard Money and probably one of my most enjoyable seasons, yeah.
Okay. And through that 10-year period, obviously we've touched on that team spirit in the 2013-14 season and that kind of squad of players. But over that 10-year period, name me 3 players then that you've enjoyed playing alongside and why.
Yeah, I'll say Dusty straight away because he's currently one of my best mates, yeah. But look, we got promoted and won a trophy together. So
you and Dusty formed a good partnership on the pitch.
Yeah, we did. And it was funny because when he come to the club, him and Tom Bonner come at the same time. And I've had it year on year where new centre halves come in, I've got to try and prove myself again. So at the start of the season, I was like, oh, right, how am I going to get in the team here? And then it ended up being me and, them 2 started the season, the first game. And ended up getting in with Dusty. And then never looked back, played nearly every game together, I think.
Almost become like an inseparable twosome. You two,
We
didn't
did.
you, at times?
We were car school members. Our missus got on really well together, and I just loved spending time with him. He's a brilliant guy. I still do. Still spend time with him and his family, and so I'd have to say Dusty was my number one. Wayne Hatswell, another one who helped me a lot. Still does. Still speak to him. One of the angriest men ever in football. Loves winning. Obviously doing really well at Newport. But he actually come to live with me and my parents for a little bit while he had nowhere to stay, so he rented a room from us. But he was big for my career, helped me out a lot on the training ground and learnt a lot from him.
A good experienced head as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, good to learn from. There was a few centre halves, Mark Peters, Mark Albrighton.
Yeah.
All three of them were unbelievable to learn from, and they wanted to help me, which was a big thing for me. And then I'm trying to think of another one. I don't want to just say an easy one. The whole promotion squad was good. Some obviously champs. I see him the other day at the game. Potsy, another one behind me.
I thought you might have said Potsy.
He gave me more stick than help, but I think I manned up from that.
Yeah, he told me how he used to shoot your ear off.
Oh, did he? Yeah. So I think I learnt to deal with people just shouting at you for no reason.
Yeah.
Typical goalie, bless him. But he was a big help, and I got on really well with Potsy. Scott Rendell, another one. I got on really well with him, and he scored some brilliant goals for us.
Important goals as well.
Some memorable goals. So yeah, there's a few names there.
There's a few there, and I'm quite impressed. So, through your time now as a centre half in professional football,
Yeah.
question we always ask people when we see them: who's the toughest player you played against, and why?
Again, obvious. Played Man United here, and at Man United.
In your pocket, didn't you?
Yeah, he didn't play a lot here though, did he? Did he come on here? He played away, I know that.
Played away.
Falcao played here. He was in my pocket, yeah.
You
Me and Dusty kept him quiet. But Van Persie was very good. His movement was different. They're elite players, and you could definitely tell that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably say Van Persie was probably the toughest player I've played against.
How did it feel that night? How did it feel that night here at the Abbey? Man United coming here,
Yeah,
really big time.
they were, yeah. But two right there.
Then old Cambridge holding to a draw here at the Abbey.
Don't think you could have wrote any better. I think, of course, you want to beat them. It would have been unbelievable if we beat them, but we got to play.
That header had gone.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I thought you'd mention the header. I think that header was. Look, I got to play at Old Trafford, which I probably might not never be able to do again. So, in a way, I'm glad I missed that header. But that day was brilliant. Full place, full Abbey, just brilliant. Going out into that little tunnel where you look at them and you think they do not fancy this at all. And then to get obviously a clean sheet and a draw against them was incredible. Yeah, it was better than winning for me personally. I think celebrating after knowing that we've just got a replay against Man United.
Massive for the club this side.
Massive for the club, money wise, obviously. And we get to go to Old Trafford on a cold Tuesday night, which was another incredible experience.
Okay, I think we've got any more. Okay, so you obviously got to be the skipper for the club here. Again, quite a big achievement. We've talked in this interview about a lot of ticking boxes and living every kid's dream as a fan. How did it feel actually going from a youngster in the dressing room to then actually being a leader in the dressing room? And how did you feel stepping out to the pitch across the white line as the leader?
It's more pressure, I think. You put more pressure on your shoulders. Try to enjoy it. And it meant a lot.
Big character as well. You become a big character, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that helped with the lads that we had. Obviously, the promotion again that season. I think the lads that we had around the dressing room, I felt comfortable not leading them because we led ourselves all together. Everyone was a leader in that team. So I think that helped. I don't think I was the standout. I mean, Dusty was the actual captain, so if he didn't play, I'd step in. But leading them it was more just put the armband on and go out first, I think. I think we had such good leaders in that team. It weren't just all the pressure on me to lead this team. I think everyone did it, which helped.
There's a lot of big personalities.
There was a lot of big personalities. I think it's the same with me now. I'm captain at Leyton Orient, but we've got some big characters in the dressing room which help. So I don't need to be that horrible vocal person all the time. That was the same here. So I think that helps because I'm not a big shouter, swearing.
I've always known you as the Joker.
I like to have a laugh, but I think for me, it's arm round the shoulder type of thing. I like to put my arm around people's shoulder when they need it, or look, some people need a good roller.
I mean, and now you're getting on a bit, obviously, same age as me, 30.
Yeah, the big 3-0.
Big 3-0, mate. Obviously, now you've got the younger kids in the dressing room. Obviously, you can now lead by example. The same as like people like Mark Peters, Mark Albright did.
Definitely, yeah. I look back at that and you look at, like you said, Mark Peters, Wayne Atwell, Mark Albrighton, Dan Gleeson. Like, he was a big family friend. I knew him before I even stepped in, so he made my transition so much easier. Forgot to mention Dan, so I'll big him up now. But people like Dan, I say specifically Dan because he was a family, he's a Cambridge boy. I've known him since I was tiny. So when I come in, them sort of people knew how to deal with me. They knew I didn't need to kick up the bum all the time. They knew I needed an arm around me or a little bit of coaching here and there. So I try and do that with our young lads now. I think I don't think you get much out of a big rollicking these days. I think kids don't take it very well, younger players. So
they kind of go missing then.
Yeah, they go missing, they hide. I think they don't respond well. So I just try and think like how I was to treat them the same.
So talking about your departure here from the Abbey, obviously it comes as a shock to us fans, and I think I speak for a lot of fans, exactly. And I think I speak for a lot of fans, but I still think now that you shouldn't have left, to be honest.
Thanks, mate.
You should still be here, or should still be here even. How did you feel when you learned that news, and kind of where was you, and what were your thoughts on it?
So it was a weird one.
How did it come around? Because obviously initially you went out on loan to Orient.
Yeah, so I was not in the team. It was actually obviously pre-season. Sean Derry's in charge. We've got Mark Roberts, Leon Legg, whoever else. Thought my game time might be limited, but again, I've had that nearly every other season. So, look, I was going to fight for my place, but I got a call from my agent, who many of you will know, Danny Nesbitt. Yeah. He rang me, told me that the Leyton Orient Martin Ling, who had got in contact with the club and asked what my situation was, would I be interested in going there on loan? My initial reaction was like, what? I've got to leave Cambridge? Why am I leaving that? It hadn't happened for 10 years, so. Then I got my head around it. Obviously, I worked with Martin Ling before, a man that I really look up to. Obviously, behind the scenes, when he was here, he wasn't in a good place. I've got even closer to him over the last year with what's happened to our manager. He's one of the strongest men I've ever met. Spoke to him. I think then it was right there rebuilding. It's a massive club. It's not far. Don't have to relocate. Ticked all the boxes if I had to leave. So went in the next day. Sean spoke to me. Said he thinks it would be good for me. I was still a bit, no, I should be playing here. Sucked it up. Went on loan initially. Remember playing the first game I played in a friendly, never met the lads, turned up, Billericay away. Met the lads, real good group of lads. Manager Steve Davis, really good, spoke to him before I went, really sound. And to be fair, mate, having looked back, really enjoyed my time there. Went on a 6-month loan, picked up a groin injury, quite a bad groin injury, and we went on a bit of bad form. Martin had said to me, look, we want to keep you. Once you're back fit, we'll put an offer to you. Is that something you'd want? I said, look, really enjoying my time here. It's a great club. If I go back, I'm not going to play. Had only the rest of the season, so it was a no-brainer for me. A big decision, but I think at the time, for me personally, it was the right decision. Fell in love with the game again, especially last year. I think I fell out of love with it a little bit. Got a bit fed up of having to prove myself. In total honesty, Every other year, had to prove myself again. I'm like, well, I've been here for 8, 9, 10 years. Like, I don't need to prove myself. So I went there, fell in love with the game, and really enjoying my football again, which is massive for me.
I think that's what's important, isn't it? As we get into the later stages of your career, you need to think about yourself a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've obviously been here.
It's still quite sad, I think, that you left, but
yeah, look, I still find it sad. Yeah, I love coming back. Yeah.
But at the same time, as we all know, football's career isn't forever.
No, exactly. I think,
Everyone reviews that.
first of all, I had to look at for myself. It's so selfish. I needed to look after myself and my family. And then the sadness hit that, I'm actually leaving. But I think going to Orient and how the club is and who's at the club and how it's run and how big the club is, I think that made it easier for me. Didn't have to relocate because that's one thing I didn't want to do.
Yeah,
Not at my age now, started a young family, thought I didn't want to relocate. And
it's still nice to see you local. We've seen you at Abbey quite a few times. Haven't we?
Look, my son loves coming up here, so I'll bring him up here whenever I can.
Exactly.
Obviously still got friends in the dressing room here, still speak to them, still know the staff, Bonds, Matt Walker, Gordy, the grumpy old kit man. So it's always nice to see them and reminisce with them. So
It's nice.
I feel like I haven't left in a way. I have left, but I know I'm welcome back, which
I
helps.
think we see you quite often here, which is quite nice.
It's nice to come back, mate.
It's nice to come back and see you.
It's good.
Or you to come back and see us even, I should say. Also, obviously, going forward, where do you think you're going to? What do you think you're going to do after football? Have you got any plans after football? I mean, do you see yourself coming back here at the club in some capacity, as we've seen with other players?
Yeah, look, I'd love to. I don't know if I definitely don't want to be a manager, because I 100% know that. But do I want to be a coach? I don't know yet. There's a few things that I've thought about and spoke to my wife about and stuff. But to come back here, I spoke to Graham Daniels the other day, and look, I'd love to come back and work here in some capacity and obviously help the club or take the club to the next level if I can, if there's anything I can do. But that's something I'll look at in a couple of years maybe.
Exactly, you're still young yet, aren't we, at 30?
Sometimes I don't feel young. But yeah, look, I've got another year after this, so who knows, Ben, to be honest. I would like to come back, that's an easy.
So lastly, but we're going to finish with a good one. I know you're a big Spurs fan and you're Spurs mad.
Yep.
Poch has just gone. Bit of a controversial decision. What's your thoughts on Poch going firstly and Jose coming in?
Sad for him, I think. I think the work that Poch done, look, he didn't win anything, but he took the club to another level. Could he take it any further? I don't think he could have. I don't know. 5 years is a long time. I think it's gone a bit stale. And then Jose Mourinho's come in, and look, he's a serial winner. So if he can just win something, it would be nice. But
still living in Arsenal's shadow.
Are they? Yeah. Look, Arsenal have won a lot. I'm not that big of a Spurs fan that I care that much, to be honest. But yeah, it's good to see Jose. At least they've gone for someone who's experienced and won stuff. So who knows?
And what's going to be your prediction for this game when we see you back at the Abbey Orient v Cambridge?
Oh, I don't know. Both.
0-0 draw. That's what you want, wouldn't it?
I mean, I can't give you a prediction. I'd like to win. Let's just put it that way.
I'd like to win. I thought that'd be a tough one to finish with.
Yeah, I'd like to win. Would I like to score? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But look, it'll be a nice day, and I look forward to seeing them.
Man celebrations?
No, I wouldn't do that. If I celebrate, I'm sorry, but I'll celebrate with the Orient fans. I won't give it the big one. I'm not like that.
Good lad. Thank you.